years? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kai, for these two important questions. And I truly appreciate you asking these two questions. So first of all, the first question is about like quite a few OEM and tier ones you just mentioned, like a few names like Horizon and Momenta. They claim they are working on robotaxi, and what's my view? So first of all, I think as a first mover and the industrial leader, as the CEO of first mover and industrial leader of autonomous driving company like WeRide, I have to say we welcome all the players to join this competition, and that means like the whole ecosystem and the whole industry is really attractive, and there's a great market potential. So only in a very interesting and juicy and profitable market you can experience competition. Having that said, I just want to remind like some competitors or new players the difference between ADAS system, which they are very familiar, and the L4 driverless robotaxi system, which they are not familiar. Okay, lots of time people have to do some conjecture or extrapolation from what they have with what they are familiar, like L2++ system, and then they want to think, okay, we just increase the reliability, increase a little bit speed of our system, and we can achieve driverless operation. My answer to that kind of extrapolation or extrapolative thinking is like you haven't seen the difficulty, what you haven't seen. So the thing is like, why am I in a position to say that? Because WeRide is the only company currently, to my best knowledge, in this world, good at ADAS system, at the same time good at driverless operation or robotaxi. So for example, in the China Urban Intelligent Driving Competition just finished like last month, we actually 2 days ago, we won the championship once again. So WeRide is the only company won this championship 3 times in a row. We made a history. So which means like in that competition, the companies you mentioned like Momenta and Horizon, they all entered the competition, but WeRide just won 3 times over them. So we know pretty much the ADAS, and we are very familiar in the ADAS system area that they are familiar. On the other hand side, I would say if you want to claim yourself to be a L4 level autonomous driving company or robotaxi company, you have to have a substantial operation. What do I mean? You should have at least 50 driverless cars running in the city with a population of at least 1 million people. Okay, if you just have 10 cars and with a safety driver behind the steering wheel, you cannot claim yourself as a robotaxi company. Of course, lots of people can claim like you are working on something. That's great, but to make sure you are the player of the field, you have to demonstrate you have the real driverless operation. Therefore, I want to emphasize the technology barrier between L2++ and L4 is huge, and to really make yourself like a significant or serious player in the robotaxi field, you really need to demonstrate your capability in driverless operation. Besides, there's the other factors like hardware maturity, software integration, full redundancy architecture, regulatory approvals, operational stability. All of these factors traditional ADAS company haven't experienced. So my view is like WeRide and also with some other leading autonomous driving L4 level robotaxi company has really a strong advantage. So we welcome this kind of competition, but we are very confident with our current leading position, our current footprint in the international market. That is a huge gap. I don't foresee any newcomers can catch up soon. So this is my answer to the first question. Okay, the second question, Kai's question, is about our recent extraordinary results in China urban intelligent driving competition. And so what differentiates us between our peers? So I think the ranking and scores tells all, right? So back in this kind of autonomous, China urban intelligent driving competition holds once every month or once every 2 months, depends on period, okay? And in history, there's only one company won this kind of championship twice in a row. That was Huawei. At that time, they have a very big advantage. But there has never been a company that has won this kind of championship 3 times in a row. Since last year, November, and then December, and this year, March, we won 3 times in a row. The competition has been entered by all the companies, famous autonomous driving company or car OEMs in China. You can name it. XPeng, Li Auto, NIO, Xiaomi, Momenta, Horizon, Huawei, Zeekr, they all entered the competition. But WeRide won this kind of competition 3 times in a row. That demonstrates our capability. And what is the secret sauce behind this? We have several. First, one of our one-stage end-to-end system training based on both synthetic and real data from our L4 level autonomous driving robotaxi, from our L2++ level data, and that helps a lot. And our unique one-stage end-to-end architecture, which is different from VLA, and that one gives us a big advantage. Thirdly, the data generated from our Genesis model, and this Genesis model is superior, and it can generate data according to our needs, and also reduce our data collection cost by 75%. With all this technology combined, give us a kind of leading position in the ADAS field. That's all my answer to these 2 questions. Again, thanks for the question, Kai.
Thank you. We will now take our next question from the line of Ming-Hsun Lee of Bank of America. Please ask your question, Ming-Hsun. Your line is open.
Hi, Tony and Jennifer. Thank you for taking my question. I also have 2 questions for you. So first, could you please elaborate the robotaxi expansion plan of both China and international markets? And what is the delivery schedule for the 2,000 vehicles signed with Geely Verizon? Thank you. And a second question, could you also share your forward-looking plan for the Middle East, given peers' market entry, geopolitical conflict, and also the involvement of the partnership with Uber? Specifically, what is the timeline of the deployment of 1,200 vehicle with Uber? Thank you, Tony.
Okay, I'll take the first question. I guess we can take the second question. Thank you, Ming. Both China and international markets are core to WeRide's growth strategy. As you just mentioned, we recently signed this deal that it's actually an extended agreement with Geely Verizon for additional 2,000 upgraded robotaxi we call GXR in 2026. So by end of last year, our fleet has surpassed over 1,000 robotaxis. Taking into consideration of the phased delivery of the newly, it's pre-installed GXR, then also the retirement of some of the older vehicles we have, we expect to reach around 2,600 robotaxi globally by end of this year. China definitely is going to be it is the cornerstone of our business, where we focus on cities with very supportive policies for autonomous driving and high population densities. Those tier 1 cities in China, like say Guangzhou and Beijing, they both fit this profile very well. In Guangzhou, for example, we plan to gradually scale towards city-level operation, like what we already have in Abu Dhabi. We're also expanding into another major tier 1 city in China, and we look forward to share more of that details soon with everyone. And on the international side, Middle East continued to be a very strong base for us. We ran the largest robotaxi fleet at city level in Abu Dhabi, and we are the first to start robotaxi public operation in Dubai and in Riyadh as well. So we'll continue to our strong momentum in the Middle East. Also, Europe is a key focus. Our robotaxi obtained the first and only driverless operation permit in Europe from the Switzerland government last year. Building on this momentum, we are really looking to further expand it in market, like say Madrid and potentially one more core city in Europe this year. And of course, we'll continue to expand our robotaxi operation in Zurich as well. Tony, you want to take the next question?
Sure. So just kind of a general reminder to everybody, the second question is really about our future plan for the Middle East. And, what is the timeline of deployment claimed 1,200 vehicles with Uber? Right now, we have around 200 vehicles in Middle East. And together with Uber, we plan to add at least 1,000 more by 2027. And we expect to be the first to reach 1,000 vehicle scale in this region. Okay, it's really not easy. And we have spent a ton of efforts and planned a lot. And sometimes retrofit and redesign our vehicles and do lots of technology efforts to meet this number. Operationally, we are carrying out business as usual. I think you have known, we are already running city-level full driverless robotaxi service in Abu Dhabi, and we aim to do the same in Dubai this year. We are currently the only company offering robotaxi service to the public in both cities, and that first mover advantage is meaningful. Our scale, regulatory progress, strong partnerships, and safety record all support this position. On the geopolitical tensions we are currently experiencing, we are monitoring developments very closely with a continued focus on the safety of our local teams and maintaining a reliable operation. So far, we have not seen any material impact on our business. Our global footprint and diversified presence also give us confidence in navigating potential uncertainties. Regarding our partnership with Uber, our 5-year, 15-city rollout plan remains on track, and we expect to announce new city launches in due course this year. Okay, that's the answer to this question. Any other questions?
Thank you. We will take our next question from Tim Xiao of Morgan Stanley. Please ask your question, Tim. Your line is now open.
Hi, Tony and Jennifer. This is Tim from Morgan Stanley. Thanks for taking my questions. I have two questions. I think the first one is basically I want to follow up on the L4 competition because at the NVIDIA GTC earlier this month, we noticed that the WeRide again showcased the Robotaxi GX car. I think the model is powered by NVIDIA Hyperion platform and the Thor SoC. Although we noticed the collaboration with NVIDIA has helped WeRide to effectively reduce the cost, accelerate global expansion. But these days, I think NVIDIA also supplies similar ready solution to many of WeRide's competitors and also automaker for the long-term L4 development. So my question is, how does WeRide address the challenge of robotaxi homogenization in the long term and can keep successfully differentiating? That's my first question. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. This is a great question. So first of all, I think, currently, like many players, they define their autonomous driving system based on NVIDIA's Thor X platform. But I want to emphasize, just to make announcements like we are going to adopt NVIDIA Thor X is easy, but to really make a reliable and a workable autonomous driving system based on NVIDIA Thor X is very challenging. WeRide team up with Lenovo and NVIDIA spent 2 years to design our HPC 3.0 auto grade. And, we actually produced the first of its kind of computational auto-grade computational platform for robotaxi with a computational power of 2,000 TOPS. You can look around and see whether any other people have this kind of computational platform of 2,000 TOPS and with redundancy. Not easy. Okay. We have lots of build up on top of this auto-grade computational platform. Besides, we build up our simulator, and the data collection integrated platform Genesis. And this one can generate lots of data and can be integrated into in the training and then can be evaluated with HPC 3.0. So that one is actually a very, very advanced system. So in the long run, I don't think like just a general, very generic universal platform can help like the inexperienced or not that strong technological player so that everybody can become a significant player in robotaxi, or i.e. democratize the whole industry. No, it's not like that. People actually have tried that before. I just want people remember, like 4 or 5 years ago, Baidu rolled out this Apollo platform. The goal is very close to what NVIDIA want to do, with roll out open source some code and everybody can work on it. But today, to our best knowledge, no driverless robotaxi fleet are developed use Apollo. Even Baidu use his own closed source platform to work on it. So whether that open source can be used by some third party and then deploy reliable driverless operation is an unproved concept, and actually I'm quite skeptical on that. So we are very confident for our competitive edge in the next 5 years and in the next 10 years, and we have a leading position. I think we have maybe larger and larger leading ones. So in that part, we are quite advanced. That's my answer to your question, Tim.
Thank you, Tony, for sharing all the details. My second question is also a quick follow-up regarding our global partnership with Uber, because I think most of us noticed that WeRide has formed a close strategic tie-up with Uber for global expansion. Yet in the meantime, I think Uber as a ride-hailing platform, the company continues to onboard more robotaxi service provider, like in the U.S., Rivian, Zix, Motional, and in the rest of the world, like Wave, etc. So facing this kind of dynamic of both cooperation and competitions, how does WeRide ensure its long-term share of ride-hailing orders in overseas market can keep growing and to stay as a major supplier to Uber? And lastly, how does WeRide plan to enhance its to-C capability globally? That's my second question. Thank you.
Okay.
Tony, you want to take this?
No, Jane, if you want, you can go ahead to take. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, I'll take this question. So Tim, first of all, Uber is an important shareholder and partner for WeRide. We believe their incentive is to maximize our WeRide's like robotaxi utilization. And as the matter of fact, with all the like partnership they have signed to today, you can only get robotaxi from Uber on the Uber platform, from WeRide, and from Waymo. That's it. And we do have a very concrete plan to scale together. In the key market, like say Middle East, we have the first and foremost operation right. We're gonna have launch 1,200 robotaxi, which will be fully delivered by 2027. This is gonna be a very, very large and definitely the largest robotaxi fleet outside China and US. And on top of that, we operate robotaxi, robobus, robovan, and other products globally. We act like more like an infrastructure partner directly to the local government. Like say, in the Bratislava, we are bringing our robo-taxi, robo-bus, robo-van, robo-sweeper all together in one go. We are the infrastructure partner to those local governments. So we're not just like Uber supplier, and we own most of the autonomous driving license. The government directly issued the license to us. So also in the presentation we just did in the video, you can see that our robo-taxi partners worldwide, including besides Uber, and we also have like Grab, SBB, FTL, IOK, like TXCI, and a number of local partners. We have different local partners in different local markets. So yeah, and just to emphasize on the licensing mode, we are the only one that holds autonomous driving permits in 8 countries. Based on our knowledge, this is definitely the broadest in our industry. This creates a very high barrier to entry. And also, even on Uber and through like other product categories, like whenever we have like the public service deployment, we are building the WeRide brand recognition directly with the end consumers as well. So if you talk in like say in Singapore, like in Abu Dhabi, in Middle East, in Dubai, in those cities, people know that the WeRide brand quite well, I would say. So the bottom line is like we're not just one of Uber's vendor. We're their equity-linked key operator and key robotaxi providers in key markets with a proven unit economy. And then we think our multi-scenario, multi-country footprint will make us a very essential part of the urban mobility infrastructure, not just a replaceable supplier by anyone. Yeah. That's my answer to your question.
Thank you so much for the details, and congratulations again on the strong results. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will now take our next question from Jiajie Shen of JP Morgan. Please ask your question, Jiajie. Your line is open.
Yes, thank you for taking my question, and congratulations on the very strong results. My first question is regarding fleet utilization. How do you expect it to grow in China, and what are the implications to unit economics? And my second question is regarding overseas business. Your global business is showing great progress, and this is truly impressive. Could you please share more about key figures of the overseas business in 2025, and what are the 2026 guidance of key operational and financial metrics? Thank you.
Okay. I will take the first question. The first question is about the fleet utilization growth in China, and also it's about like the implications to unit economics. So first of all, we are taking a number of steps to improve utilization, raising fleet density in existing service areas, rolling out free pickup, drop-off, i.e. Pudu, and extending operation hours. And we are seeing that translate into results. User adoption rate has been strong. Our robotaxi user cases in China grow over 900% year-over-year in Q4. This is an extraordinary number, and I don't expect we can keep this kind of number every year, but still it's kind of extraordinary number. And our vehicle utilization is also trending up. Today, each vehicle averages about 15 trips per day, with peak days reaching around 26 trips. Some peak day like festival or some very special the Valentine's Day. The average trip distance is about 5 kilometers, and pricing is roughly 2 RMB per kilometer, which represents 30 to 50% discount to traditional ride-hailing. This is a deliberate promotional strategy as we scale region by region and drive our user adoption. As we expand to citywide coverage, like what we are working on toward Guangzhou, and the deepening integrations with platforms such as Amap from Alibaba, WeChat from Tencent, and Tencent Mobility to match convenience of traditional ride-hailing. We expect pricing to move closer to the standard rate, around 3 RMB per kilometer. At this point, we see a clear and achievable path to improve unit economy in China. Over years, as our fleet size and coverage expand, we are targeting 25 trips per vehicle per day because, autonomous driving, they are autonomous driving vehicles, robo-taxi, they don't need a driver, and then, you don't have an exhaustive driver. Therefore, we can keep on going as long as we can take orders. At steady state, we expect contribution margins in China to be over 40%. Okay, that's my answer to your first question. I think, that's my to your question. Yes.
The second question is about the overseas business and some of the forecasts, right? Our international business is growing at a really, really pleasant rate. And for the Q4 2025, the overseas revenue was up 140% year over year, and it's contributing 31% of the total revenue, and with the gross margin at 40-ish, almost 50%. And for the full year 2025, and our overseas revenue grew about 305% year over year, and accounting for roughly 29% of the total revenue. So the gross margin was around almost 50% as well. So overseas market offers significantly stronger growth and profitability potential. For example, our Middle East subsidiary is already profitable on a standalone basis. So looking ahead to 2026, we expect the revenue continue to grow at a healthy pace. We are also on track to reach our goal for the global robotaxi fleet as well as for different regions. We believe we can still reach the goal by end of the year. And on the gross margin side, we expect the gross margin to remain relatively stable for the international business. On the cash side, the operating cash flow may increase modestly on the group level, since we're continue to invest for talent and our R&D to support the long-term core growth of the company. We'll provide more detailed guidance in the upcoming earnings release, but directionally, this reflects how we are thinking about how we build up the business and the financial forecast. Yeah, thank you.
We will now take our next question from Leo Yo of CLSA. Please ask your question, Leo. Your line is open.
Hi, good evening, Tony and Jennifer. It's Leo from CLSA. Also two questions from me. And first is, could you please walk us through the key cost reductions and technology innovations behind the upgraded GXR? And how would that drive further unit economics improvement going forward? And secondly, we are also very glad to see that you announced the share buyback plan. And could you please elaborate more on the thought process and how you're going to execute the share buyback plan going forward? Thanks very much.
Okay, I think both questions. I'll answer those questions. Thank you, Leo. The first one is on the cost reduction of GXR, and then maybe I try to answer the question in a different way from the total cost of ownership perspective. As we mentioned earlier, the TCO for the China fleet has declined by as much as 38% in 2025. And the two main factors, the two main drivers are below. First of all, we have, which is now Tony has already shared, there's a significant improvement in the remote assistant ratio. from 1 to 10 in 2024 to 1 to 40 by end of 2025. So we also have a similar efficiency gains for the grid operator. So on both ends, there's efficiency improvement on the operation level. And second, we have seen an overall 30% reduction in the BOM cost. That including the upgraded the HPC as well as for the pre-installed new GXR robotaxi. Meanwhile, now we are starting to have like a larger volume, so scale is starting to deliver the real benefits. As our fleet expands, we see a meaningful cost reduction through the volume procurement. Also on the software side, I still want to remind everyone, so the game changer here is really our WeRide Genesis. With Genesis, the Genesis allows us to handle the edge case much more efficiently and accelerate the iteration cycles. So it's easier for us to deploy in a much larger ODD and with less remote assistance needed. So together, these are delivering very meaningful improvement in our cost structure. Yeah. And the other one is regarding the share buyback. So today, our board of directors authorized a share repurchase program effectively as of March 23, 2026, which is today as well. We may repurchase up to $100 million worth of our Class A ordinary share from both Hong Kong Stock Exchange and from NASDAQ over the next 12 months. It's actually subject to the scope and limit of the repurchase mandate granted by the shareholder of the company on March 13, 2026, and approval of a similar repurchase mandate to be put forward to shareholders at the upcoming 2026 annual general meeting for the company. So our proposed repurchase may be made from time to time on the open market at the prevailing market price and in the privately negotiated transaction in block trade, depending on the market condition and in accordance with the applicable rule and regulation. Yeah, that's my answer to your question, Leo. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now take our next question from Xingyu Fang of UBS. Please ask your question, Xingyu. Your line is open.
Hi, thank you for taking my question, and congratulations on delivering solid revenue growth and operation expansion. My first question is about revenue structure. We noticed that there has been quarterly fluctuations in the contribution of product and services revenue. How should we think about the revenue structure of the company going forward, both in the near term and medium term? And as for my second question, apart from the 100 million share buyback program, could you please share a little bit more on the future cash deployment plan of WeRide? Thank you.
Okay. I will take the first question. So in 2025, our robotaxi contributed 22% of the total revenue, and the robobus contribute 34%, and our L2++ ADAS and the data service contribute 29%. Together, these three pillars accounted for around 85% of our business, with RoboVan and RoboSweeper making up the remaining 15%. So that's detailed numbers. But if you do a looking ahead, robotaxi, robobus, and L2++ will remain our core growth engines, supported by strong synergies across our integrated autonomous driving ecosystem. We have a platform strategy. Robotaxi is the fastest growing segment with significant scalability and improving unit economics, especially overseas. So we expect its revenue share to increase over time. Just want to emphasize, WeRide inherently is a robotaxi technology company. Okay, we have many products, but robotaxi is the core. Robobus is currently our most geographically deployed business and benefits from clear synergies with robotaxi in both regulation and commercialization. L2++ continues to gain traction with the partners like Chery, GAC, and Bosch, serving both as a revenue stream and a platform to validate our technology. Meanwhile, RoboVans and RoboSweepers provide complementary value with lower cost, fixed route operation that also help us enter and educate new markets. Overall, this diversified portfolio gives us both scale and balance, which we see a key strength. I think if you look at all autonomous driving companies in this world, WeRide is unique, and only WeRide adopt this technology.
Okay, I'll answer Xin's last question. So for the cash deployment side, we in 2025 is with a little bit over $1 billion in the cash reserve, and which is a strong foundation to support our expansion. And on our net cash burn rate is less than $200 million based on the past pattern. At the same time, our revenue growth is really accelerating. We can see from today's results, and our operating cash flow is becoming increasingly a more important funding source for us. So at the scale, we are not just like investing and like raising capital from the capital market and then spending on R&D. That's it. We are generating cash ourselves and at a relatively fast speed as well. So overall, we are in a very solid liquidity position, and we'll continue to invest with discipline while we still maintain an ample runway to execute our growth strategy. Yeah. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Due to time constraints, I'll conclude the call today. Thank you for your participation in today's conference. This does conclude the program. You may now disconnect.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.